couple things I'd like to say. The first of all is the way that all these, especially in the Gospel of Luke, all of these infancy narrative stories are set up. You know, if you were reading closely, we're presented with three couples in Luke's infancy narratives. The first couple was Zachariah and Elizabeth, and then Mary and Joseph. And then on February 2nd, we're going to be introduced to Simeon and Anna, okay? Three couples. Couple one, okay, were the priestly couple, Elizabeth and Zachariah. Zachariah was a member of the Levi priesthood, okay? Mary and Joseph are the royal couple. Remember, Joseph is in line to be king. He is from the family of David. And then Simeon and Anna are the prophetic couple, the prophets, okay? The prophetic couple in the sense that, kind of remembering all the things that were promised through the prophets back in the Old Testament, kind of being summed up into these two figures. And as you read in the Gospel of Luke, you'll see that each couple has kind of like a song, like they break out into. It's like a musical in the first couple chapters of Luke. I don't like musicals, but some people do. So on, I believe it's Saturday, if we had Mass Saturday morning, which we won't, we get Zachariah's song after the birth of John the Baptist. We get this nice little song proclaimed by Simeon, okay, that's proclaimed again on February 2nd. And then today's, the Magnificat. Mary's breaking out into song after her encounter with Elizabeth. What's fascinating about that is that the church in its prayer, what we call the Liturgy of the Hours, includes all three of those songs. So Zacharias we sing in the morning, which I just did in morning prayer. Mary's Magnificat we'll do in the evening prayer, and then Simeon's song we do at night prayer. So a little interesting tidbit on that. So what does the actual text say as far as Mary's Magnificat? Two things I want to bring out. First is this. When it comes to God's sovereignty, things do not necessarily remain the same the way they are, if that makes any sense. Meaning that when it comes to God's sovereignty, he's going to take our expectations and turn it upside down. Did you catch Mary's Magnificat in what was said? Okay. He has scattered the proud in their conceit. He has cast down the mighty from their thrones, lifted up the lowly. He's filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent away empty. Okay? When it comes to God's sovereignty, often the rich and powerful are cast down, the lowly are lifted up. And usually when it comes to being faithful to God, as we see in the Old Testament, and as we see in the current situation in which the Jewish people are in now, those who are trying to remain faithful to God are often, often cast down. They just spent the last 500 years, okay, being occupied by some foreign power, whether it's the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, and in the present case in this text, the Romans, okay? But there's going to be a time when it comes to God's sovereignty where all that's going to be flipped on its head, okay? Also making an allusion to what I talked about yesterday. Remember what I talked about yesterday, that second half of the Hail Mary. Blessed are you amongst women. Mary says in the Magnificat, from all to this day, all generations will call me blessed. Okay, we call her the Blessed Mother. What's that making a reference to? Remember yesterday to those two Old Testament texts where two unlikely figures, two women, defeated Roman generals by what? Chopping off their heads, okay? One in Judges, all right? And the other was in 2 Samuel. In the book of Judith, okay? But the idea is, again, two unexpected figures defeat a foreign power. And again, also make an allusion to Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, where the woman, when God's talking to Eve, that there will be a woman who will crush the head of the serpent. Okay, that's the Blessed Mother, crushing the head of the serpent. So when we say that prayer, blessed are you amongst women, it's almost like a minor exorcism. We're invoking Mary's power and her victory over evil by her firm commitment, yes, to our Lord. All right, last thing. He has come to the help of his servant Israel, for he remembered. Even as I read the gospel passage, I try to emphasize that word, remember. It's a very weighted word. Okay, Mary's proclaiming what? That God has remembered his promise of mercies. Remember all those things about covenant we talked about in the book of Genesis to Abraham. And we're going to talk about a covenant with Moses. And then down the line, we'll talk about a covenant with David. Again, at this present moment, all those promises that God seemed to have made to those figures, God wasn't faithful to his word in the minds and the hearts of the people. Why? Well, because they're not free. They're servants. They're slaves to these foreign powers. Okay? They're also slaves to sin and death. But God remembered, not just recalling past events, but God remembered he's keeping his promises, and now he's going to take decisive action. And so when you hear that word remember in Scripture, it's not just recalling past events, but God is about to do something because he's a God that's going to keep his word. So also remember at the end of the Gospel of Luke on the cross, what does Jesus say? What does the guy on the thief on the cross say? He says, what? Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. He's calling for what? A decisive action for his salvation. And Jesus grants it to him. So all these things in this great prayer of Mary's Magnificat, but I think overall the thing to bring with you, to take home, is that God is using this figure, this very young woman, our Blessed Mother, using her as an instrument to overcome an evil. Why? Because God remembered the promises he made to Abraham, Moses, David, and to all the people of the Old Testament. And he will remember you as well. He will decisively save you. May God bless you.